So what is GitHub? So GitHub is a code hosting platform for version control and collaboration. It lets you and others work together on projects from anywhere. So this is the official trademark from, the GitHub like website. But basically, in like put it too simply, it has two big takeaways. So first, for version control, basically what this means that it lets you save multiple versions of your code, and you can always go back and forth different versions if you want to, which you can't do just on computer. If you wanted to do this, you would have to make a bunch of copies of your codes, and if you want to like go back, then there's really no way to go back, right? And also collaboration is one big thing. So GitHub is largely used by a lot of software engineers and like other developers to share code with one another online, so that it's really easy if you want to work on a project together, then you guys are working on the same code and updating the same way. So version control and collaboration are two big things. And I'll give you a second to take some notes. And this is a fun fact. This is called an octocat. Oh, sorry, Paul, did you have a question?
No, I don't have one now.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, fun fact, this is called octocat. This is the mascot of GitHub. Yeah. So what does version control actually mean on paper? So we have this person working on their code, and let's say they made their first file of version 1 on July 20th. So they just created a new HTML file. And then he felt like working more. So on July 25th, he made a second version and he deleted stuff that he doesn't need. So it's now he's like working on his code. And July 30th, now version 3, he added on CSS file. And July 31st, he did version 4, which is created some stuff in CSS file. So he's been working on this project, and these are the same, this is the same project, but in just different timelines, right? But he accidentally made a mistake. He accidentally deleted stuff that he actually needs. So he wants to go back from here to all the way over here and just kind of restart, because he deleted a chunk of stuff that he wanted to use for his final project. And so we have this guy like worried over here. So GitHub actually lets us, that is the octocat coming in action to help this guy out. So GitHub lets us go from version 4 and all the way back to the July 20th version, so the version 1. So with GitHub, he's able to move all the way from his current file to his old files, so that he still has all the stuff that he needs. So thank you, octocat. Big thumbs up for octocat for helping this guy out. And second part is about collaboration. So let's say, let's name this guy David, and this guy like Davida or something. So David and Davida are working together on the project, but they're not next to each other. They're actually like in different countries. So let's say, Davida is in Korea and David is in America, but they want to work together. How do we do this? So GitHub, they're going to be utilizing the GitHub. So let's say David was coding on his computer, right? And he wants to send it to Davida. So he's going to upload this file onto GitHub. And from GitHub, Davida can actually download this file herself and have David's code on her computer. And the reverse can be the same. So let's say after working on this, Davida decided to like edit some files and she updated the code. Let's say she added like a new CSS file, right? So we have this Davida with updated files, and she's actually gonna push them to GitHub as well, so that David can also receive Davida's updated code, so he can stay on track, so that they're on the same page. Does that all make sense? And then they're happy because they have the same version of code now. So like this, GitHub works in two different ways: version control and collaboration. But how does it actually work? Because we've been only looking at diagrams and like pictures and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna kind of introduce you guys to how it actually works on their database. So GitHub has this thing called repository. So repository is just like a short, like a complicated term for like somewhere to store your project. So you can just think of it as like a folder for your project, if it makes sense. And then we have this main branch. So you guys saw like the, let me go back all the way, this timeline, right? This timeline that we have. So basically this timeline is reflected on this main branch. So the main branch is where all the actual project that we're going to be working on is going to go on. So all the changes that we make, like the final changes that we make is going to go on this. And you can kind of think of this as like parallel universe. So basically on GitHub, you can make different branches. So we have this main branch, but we can also make a separate branch for a different version of your project. So right now, the main branch and the second branch is going to be the same until we make changes to it. So the reason why I said it was parallel universe is because these files are exactly going to be same until you make this change. But even if you make this change on the branch, it's not going to be reflected on main until we, merge it. And I'll show them what that means. So I've created a branch and I'm working on my code and I'm at a commit. Commit means any saved changes that you have on GitHub. So any change you make on the code and then you decide to upload it on GitHub, it's called a commit. And after that, I'm gonna make, so how do I explain this? Okay, so we have this second branch, right? And we made these changes, but these changes are not yet implemented on our main branch. And I want to put this change into the main branch. So I want to put this change into the main branch so that we have it right here. And this is called merge, putting the changes in another branch into the main one. So what this does is that it takes all the changes that we've made on this branch and we merge it into the main so that the project can actually be changed. Does that make sense? And then we go further into the timeline. And I'll show a couple examples of this. So let's say, and then this is just a technical drawing from GitHub itself. So we have this GitHub repository, master branch or main branch, and we created a feature branch from master. So we created a different branch that has the same files, but we're gonna make different changes. So let's say like someone made this change, this change, this change, and then we made a pull request, which means just to say, I want to merge this into our main branch. So I want to actually make these changes into the main. And so people that are working together are going to discuss these changes. And then when they all agree, they're going to merge it onto the main branch. So I'll show you a couple examples. So let's say we started out our project with just heading tag, my website, H1, right? And I'm going to make a separate branch. And on this branch, I'm going to make this change, H1, my website, and then I've added this paragraph tag. But the file on the main, our actual project, is still this because we haven't merged this new change into our actual project. So we have these changes, and then when we actually merge it, our project is going to look like this because it actually got changed. Does anyone have questions right now? Anyone confused? Everyone's okay? All right. So yeah, another example, let's say we started with the H1 heading. And then the first change I'm gonna make in our new branch, I'm gonna do it, my name is David. But then I didn't like that. And I actually wanted to change it to H2 instead. So instead of the paragraph tag, I'm gonna make it H2. And I actually wanted to do one more change so that, I've added one more paragraph tag called, you can call me Mr. Lim. And then I'm gonna submit a pull request and merge it back into our file, our actual project, into the main branch. So this temporary branch is only made in order to make updates, but we're not sure if those updates are actually going to be implemented. So an example I can think of is like, let's say, how do I see this? So it's kind of like, let's say you have a poster, right? You have a class project to like draw something, but then you're not sure what you want to draw yet. So you're drawing on a separate piece of sheet of paper and just like getting your ideas out. So we have one big poster that we're supposed to present, but we haven't put anything on it. And then we have a separate sheet of paper, just writing changes that you might make. And then once you're sure that you like want to like draw like My Little Pony, for example, right? Then, oh, like after I've already created a draft, now I'm gonna actually put the changes on our big poster for submission. Does that make sense? All right. And so we've talked about how we can make changes and how we can collaborate, discuss these changes, but also about version control, right? So these are different updates that we've made. So first we started out our project like this, and the updated version is right here, right? So actually these updates all have a commit tag. Some like random like letters and numbers that you won't understand. I don't really understand them either, but it's just a code. And so using these codes, you can actually go back to your previous version. So that's the thing that I talked about version control before, right? With David like coding and then accidentally making mistakes. So he wants to go back to previous version. So you can do this on GitHub. And without GitHub, maybe like always saving like versions of files, it only goes one direction, right? So we created like one draft, and then you make updates, and you get to final draft. But there's no way of going back to like this step, for example. But with Git, you have the initial draft, version 1, version 2, final draft. But if you don't like the final draft, you can go back to version 2. You can even go back to version 1 or initial draft. So this motion is very fluid on GitHub. So you can go back and forth. And that is why we use GitHub. And this is an example of two people collaborating. So we have this master branch, right? And these circles represent all the changes that you make. So let's say on the master branch, you copied a branch, and this is your own branch, right? So you're gonna be working on your own stuff while somebody else is working on their stuff. So what this is saying is basically I've made it these 3 changes, and as soon as they merge together right here, I've reflected these changes onto this update. And somebody's gonna see that, and after this, what is it? Somebody's gonna see it on their own branch, and they're also gonna make their own changes to our project, and they're gonna merge it back into the main one, so that like everyone is working on their own versions, and then eventually they're gonna come together and be like, okay, your version is right here, my version is right here, and we're gonna somehow correctly like put them together so that we have like one working project with both of us, so that they're on the same page. And these are the useful terms that we just learned. So repository, again, just means the place where you put your project. Branch is like a way to work different versions of the repository at one time. So you can have multiple branches of different versions. And commit is just a save change on your branch. So any changes that you make and then save onto GitHub is called commit. Pull request is proposing your changes and requesting someone to review them. So after you've made your changes, if you do pull request, it means to like tell to the GitHub, oh, I'm gonna make these changes. How do you like, what do you guys think? And then once that request is successful, then we're gonna merge, which means putting the changes that you've made into the main branch. So all the branches are gonna be merged into the main one. And master main is a default main branch that the repo uses. So repo, again, is just a word for your project, basically. And main is going to be like the main branch that you're going to be working on with other people. So does anyone have questions, any confusions at this point? Is anyone like feeling they're like super confused right now? It's okay if you do. Doesn't actually let's do this. Out of 5, how are you guys feeling? 5 being like, oh, I totally got this concept, or 1 being like, this is really confusing. How do you guys feel? 1 through 5. Can you guys put them on their screens? All right, I see some hands. 4. I see a lot of 4s. Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you. Okay, sounds good. Okay then. If you guys have any questions while we're doing this, please let me know and I can answer them. So the thing is this, I actually ran into a problem when I was preparing this, and I realized GitHub is kind of hard to use. And I'm just gonna be honest, GitHub is very difficult. I mean, even the concept, like getting the concept was like took like 20 minutes, right? So GitHub is much more powerful when we start incorporating it in our desktop folders and command lines, but it's so difficult to learn, especially if you've never used command before, or if you've never used a terminal, which is, let me just show you guys really quick. So terminal is this thing that every computer has, and it's like a direct way to like work on code, I guess, or direct way to communicate with your computer. So like I would do something like, don't take notes on this. This is not, let's say I want to go to Spotifyology project, and I can see all the different files, and like, oh, oops, I'm supposed to go to desktop first. And like, in order for you guys to like really like make use of GitHub, you're gonna have to like learn all these different things like Spotifyology, and I'm gonna do git status, and they give you this status, and it looks very confusing, right? This is a lot of like words and stuff that like it's hard to understand unless you really learn it. So in our class, we're gonna learn something simpler. So instead, we're gonna be learning a simpler version, how to use GitHub to keep track of our changes in our project on the website, instead of doing all that like weird coding stuff. Okay, so first, how do we start a repo? So repo is what again, Grace? Do you remember? What does repo mean? Simpler. It's another word for... Any guesses? Do you want to call in somebody to help you? What do you think, Paul? Could you help Grace out really quick? What does repo mean? What's another word for repo?
So like, was it like the history of like files or something?
So very close. So repo just means another word for project. So we want to start a project folder on our GitHub webpage, right? And so first, we're gonna go to GitHub and make an account. So if you guys can follow along, that'll be great. And yeah, let's get started. So oh yeah, let me go through the presentation first then. Okay, so first, if you go on GitHub page, then you're gonna see on the top right, that you're gonna see this thing, sign in, sign up. So you guys are most likely gonna be signing up. And to create a repository, in upper right corner, next to your avatar identification, you're gonna see new repository. And then you're gonna name it anything, and then describe it. Like, this is my personal project from OrangeNote coding cat. And you're gonna just hit repository. So let's try this. So, sorry. Okay, so first let's go to GitHub, github.com. And I'm already logged in. Okay, let's log out. So we have this cool website. Can everyone see this website? Yeah, so when you go to github.com, you see where the world builds software. So I'm gonna click sign up right here. And it's just, I think this is very cool. They have like a very interesting interface. It's like coding almost. So enter your email. I'm gonna enter my email. Let's say, I'm gonna use my spam email. I don't think I've created a thing yet. Yeah. So,
Mine is a little different.
oh, how is it different?
It just has the space to type. It doesn't have anything, any words or anything.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, it might look different for like different computers. But if you can follow along, I think it shows you like where to type your email and stuff still, right?
No, it just has a space to type. Doesn't have anything.
Oh, interesting. Is anyone also going through the same issue where they're seeing something different on their screen?
No, mine has the animation. It doesn't have it. It just like it had an animation where it says like welcome to GitHub, and then enter and it says like enter your enter your email or yeah.
Okay. Let me see. How do I do this? Annabelle, could you share your screen for a second? I just wanna see it if it's okay. And Miss Madeline, could you enable sharing for her really quick?
Yeah, so Annabelle can share her
Oh, yeah.
screen if she want.
Oh. Can you reload maybe? And then when you type, does it say anything?
What should I try typing?
Just type hello or something.
It doesn't let me type.
Okay. I will try to find out what's the issue with this after class. Would that be okay? And then for now, you can just
Should I
follow
stay
along.
behind?
Oh no. Oh yeah. You can stay behind. For like after the lesson.
Actually, I think I know what the issue is.
Well, what do you think? You know.
Actually, it works fine on Chrome, the Chrome browser, but then I'm also on a Mac, and then when you use Safari instead, then it instead just shows like a blank thing. So you might need to use Chrome for GitHub, since I just opened up Safari and typed in github.com, and I clicked on sign in, and it just gave me like and it doesn't let me type or anything.
Yeah, maybe it's like the browser. But
Actually,
we'll try to
actually,
fix this after class if that's
it
okay.
actually works for me.
Okay.
It just froze for a few minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, maybe you need to wait. But for now, you can just follow along with me, and then we can try to solve it after. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So enter your email. It says, I'm gonna just type in one of my emails and create a password, some kind of password that's good for you, and username. I'm gonna put David Farty Pants. And I would just say no to this. And then we have to start puzzle. This is just to see that you're not a robot. And create account. So now we've created an account. It says I've already used this. Sorry. Let me just. Okay. Spiral Galaxy. Spiral Galaxy. And then they're gonna ask you to verify your email. And let me see if I'm getting the 7865554 was my code. You can just say you're a student and it's just me. And you can just ignore all of these and just continue. And ignore all of these, continue for free. Whoa, okay. I have not done this in a while. So I think they just updated their website. So now we have this, and I'm gonna go back to my original one that I was using. So, actually, let me go back to that one. So when you first log in, you will see all this. And basically, this is just telling you all the activities that you've done in GitHub, but we haven't done anything, right? So what did this say? So right here, right next to your avatar icon on the top right side, you're gonna click the plus, and then you're gonna click new repository. And this is to make your new project on GitHub. And I'm gonna make it my website, David Lim. And try not to have like spaces, I think. They don't let you use like spaces. They only use like dashes and stuff. So that's one thing. And you can put any description. This is my first website that I've made. And just leave these as how it is. And I'm gonna create a repository. And we're gonna get to this screen. So right here on the top left, it says what kind of repository I made. So I made David Fartepants is my name. And then my website, David Lim. So this kind of looks similar to like a relative path, right? Or absolute path. You know, this is like my user and then slash my project right here. And you can actually make multiple repositories, but we won't be doing that right now. So yeah, so after you've made your repository, we're gonna get started by uploading our files. So right here in this tiny thing, it says uploading an existing file, right? So we're gonna be uploading all our HTML and CSS, like right here, you see, and then we're gonna commit changes. So let's do that. And commit, again, remember, is just a fancy word for saying any saved changes. So I am gonna go to my website and I'm gonna click uploading an existing file and choose your files. So right now I'm gonna go to the folder with my final project and then I'm gonna upload index.html and styles.css and I'm gonna put open. And don't do your image files just yet. And you can provide example like description on what this commit is. So this is just saying edit my project files. And you can just leave this blank. So I'm gonna press commit changes. And notice that these changes actually got reflected on here. So a couple things to notice. So first of all, it says main right here, right? So right here is where like what branch our like repo is on currently. So we're on the main branch and we've added these files directly on our main. So we see this index.html and style.css. And one thing that you guys might have noticed is there no way to upload a folder, right? So in order to make a folder, you're gonna have to, what is it? So in order to make a folder, you're gonna do add file, create new file. And instead of just typing in like, or instead of just uploading, you're basically gonna be creating a new folder directly on GitHub. So let's say I wanna upload a folder called images. And after typing images, I'm gonna do one more slash so that they know that this is gonna be a folder. And I'm gonna make a random file that I'm gonna delete later and put create. So basically the steps are go to create new file and then type in this and upload all your images into the folder and delete the random file. So I'm gonna show you how to do this really quick. So I'm gonna add file, create new file, and then I want to put images folder. So images, and I'm gonna put slash. And then file to delete later. This is just so that we can make this folder. So we have to put a file in because they don't let us create empty files or empty folders. Commit new changes. And now if we go back, so right now we're in the images folder. You can either click this to go back into your previous folder, or when you're in the folder, you can just click my website, David Lim. So now we have this images folder, right? So inside this images folder, I'm also going to add files. So add file, upload files, and I'm going to upload all my images right here. And wait for it to upload on the website for a second. And then I'm going to put added my image files. And then commit changes. So now we have an updated version of our project. See, we have HTML, CSS, and an image folder. And make sure we delete this. So in order to delete this, you're going to click on the file. And you're going to press delete on the right side. So we have this file right here, file to delete later. And then we're going to go all the way to the right and delete this file. And then commit changes. All right, so now we have HTML, CSS, and images. Perfect. Any questions so far? Any issues that you guys ran into? All right, sounds good. And yeah, this is just showing what we just did. So we had to add file right here, upload files. And then now we have images in the file, in the folder. And make sure we delete this random file. So we're going to click on this and then delete right here. And these slides are already up in Google Classroom. So if you guys need to review it and do it yourself later, please look at them. And also, okay, so now we're going to be creating a separate branch. So how do we update your project, right? So let's say I made changes. Let's go to my website project. And I'm going to go to my HTML, not this one, it's this one. So I'm going to open this with VS Code. And we have this lovely code right here, right? So let's say I've added, let's say, I've added an A tag on the top. A tag with href. What's my other file called? I don't have another file. Let's say I'm going to OrangeNote.org. Let me just make sure to put this. And take me to OrangeNote. So I've made this change right here, right? But even though I've saved it on my computer, it's not reflected on GitHub, right? It hasn't appeared on GitHub. So if we go to GitHub, then there's no A tag on top. So how do we update our folders, or how do we update our files in order to, put this into our GitHub? And that is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna be creating a separate branch. So in order to create a separate branch, you have to click on top left corner of your repo where it says main with a branch sign. So right here, main, and type in any name of the text on the text box. So I'm going to put it updates, and then we're going to be clicking on create branch from main. So create branch from main. And now after doing that, we see that we have this branch called updates. So we're no longer a main. So basically what we did here is that we've created a new branch that copied all the previous folders and files from the main branch. So see how it's updates, right? But it still has all the index.html and style.css. That's because it's copied. So in essence, what we did here was this step. So we have this main branch with the new file. And when we made the updates branch, it branched off here, like separated here, but it still has the same files as the main branch. So we're gonna do that right now. So let's go back. I'm gonna click on branch main and I'm gonna put updates and create branch. So now we had this updates, and remember, notice how it says right here that there's two branches. That's because there's one main branch, which is this, and the second is updates. And in order to switch back from one branch to another branch, you can just go here, right here, and then just switch. So updates is our new one. And on this new branch, we're going to copy paste all the content that you've updated. So you're going to click on the file you want to edit, and then click on the pencil icon right here and edit the file and commit the change. So I'm gonna go change our index HTML because we just changed the index HTML file. And let's put edit this file. And I can just technically type like this, but like this is not for sure that the same change is gonna happen that we made on our desktop, right? So just the easier way of doing this, we're gonna do Control A, selecting everything, or you can just, drag everything. And we're gonna do Control C or Command C, and we're just gonna delete everything and copy paste. So now we have this A tag, right? Anchor tag. And make sure go down and let's put what change we've made here. So I'm gonna say included an anchor tag to our OrangeNote website. And this is super important because we want to tell, like, if we're working with someone else, right? For example, we want to tell what changes we've made specifically. Or even if you're working by yourself, maybe you don't remember what changes you've made so far, like before. So this is just really helpful. So I'm going to commit change. And now that this have this, right? This has anchor tag. But let me tell you something. So in updates, it says on index.html, it has the anchor tag, but on our main branch, it still does not. Do you see how like the anchor tag is not there? That's because we haven't merged updates and main together. So what does that mean? I'm gonna go back into our previous branch right here. Slides. So we've made this main and we've made this updates branch, and then we've made changes, right? But the step that we haven't done is to actually merge them together in order to put them together so that this main branch has all the changes that we've made on this previous branch. So we're gonna be doing that. So yeah, you're just gonna put commit changes. And in order to update your main branch after you're sure about your changes, so you're gonna put pull request tab, then from pull request page, click the green new pull request button. Do you remember what pull request is, Joanna? It's okay if you don't remember.
Or you request to make or to merge.
Yeah, good job. So yeah, so pull request is just saying, oh, like I want to request for a merge. I want to put these together. So in the example comparison box, select the branch you've made and whatever name it is to compare with the main. So right here, it says, let me just walk you guys through. Okay, so let's start with the pull request tab. So when we go on our GitHub, you see right here, pull requests, we're gonna click this. And like this, it says, click the green new pull request button. I'm gonna click new pull request. And interesting. It says, oh yeah, in the example comparison box, select the branch you made or whatever name it is, compare with the main. So right here is the example comparisons. So I'm going to put updates because that's where we made the changes recently. And it tells you when we get here, the changes that we've made. So it tells us that we changed this anchor tag like this. And then our HTML, our last code is on the new line. So these are the changes. So make sure that these are the changes you want. And it says to look over your changes in the diffs on the compare page. Make sure they're what you want to submit. So we've already checked that. We've already seen that the anchor tag is what we want to add. And when you're satisfied that these changes are you want to submit, click the big green create pull request button. So where is that? Right here. I can make my mouse big. Right here, create pull request. And I'm gonna put create pull request. And now that we've submitted a pull request, GitHub is just checking if it's actually able to merge, which means to just put them together. And it says this branch has no conflicts with the base branch. So merging can be performed automatically. All right, I'm gonna put merge pull request and I'm gonna confirm it. Or let me just say I've merged my updates on anchor tag. Confirm merge. And after merging, actually, so in order to merge and actually update your main branch, click the merge pull request, confirm merge, and we're gonna go ahead and delete this branch because all the changes have been already incorporated. So with the delete button in the purple box, so right here in this purple box, we're gonna click delete branch. And the reason why we're doing this is because the changes we made on the anchor tag on our branch is already in our main branch at this point. So I'm gonna just delete it. And let's go back to our project. So in order to go back to our project, you can go on your top left side, and then click on my website, David Lim. And notice that we only have one branch now because we deleted our updates branch, and it's just the main one that we're on. And if you click on index.html, now we'll have the anchor tag. So we've completely updated the file. Any questions so far on what we just did? Kevin's doing okay. All right, so yeah, and then it says right here on the middle column, included an anchor tag to our OrangeNote website. So this is also neat. So basically what this tells you is for each file, this is the latest change we've made to it. So notice how style.css is still says added my project files because we haven't edited it ever since 14 minutes ago when we first uploaded the file. But index.html, we just changed it. So that's why it says right here. And we have these image files. So everything looks good. And one more thing. So now that we have our updated project, right? And then in order to update your project again, let's say like you made another change on your computer, you're gonna do the same thing over again. But let's say you made a mistake and you want to go back to our previous version. So this is about version control, right? So we're gonna go to pull request tab again and go to like say something number closed and then click on the commit that you want to undo and press revert. So let's say I actually don't like this anchor tag. Why is this anchor tag on here? I don't like this here. So the magic of GitHub is that we can actually go to the pull request that we've made before. Click on this one closed. So when we go here, it says 0 open, right? But we're gonna go 1 closed. And you see, this is the merge that we've made. This is included an anchor tag to our Orange website. So I'm gonna select this, or actually I'm gonna press on this, I think. Yeah, included an anchor tag to our OrangeNote website. And it says it's already merged, but I wanna undo this. So right here it says revert. And if I put revert, basically what it means that I'm gonna undo everything that we just did on our branch. And I'm gonna put, I actually don't really want the anchor tag here. create a pull request. And then now we still have to do a pull request and then do merge again if we want to revert these changes. So I'm going to confirm merge. And let's delete this branch. So basically what they did was that they created a new branch just for us called revert one updates, and then put the changes and then make sure to merge it after. So we don't need this branch anymore, so I'm going to delete it. So now when we go back to index.html, notice how it says revert include on our anchor tag to our OrangeNote website. And it no longer has the anchor tag that we used to have. So this is a way to go back. And if you really want, you can also revert the revert in order to have the anchor tag back, but we won't do that right now. But just know that there are different versions of this project, and you can always go back and forth with the magic of GitHub. So yeah, for homework, and then yeah, congrats, you just learned how to use GitHub. And for homework, not really homework, but for our final website, so one of the requirement is to create your own repo with the files, organize the files, basically put an image folder is what I mean, and make at least one pull request or merge for updating your files. So after this lesson, or maybe tomorrow morning, I want you guys to upload all your files onto GitHub like I just did. And then work on your files, not on GitHub. Don't work on it on GitHub because you can't see these changes on GitHub as well. Yeah. So don't edit it here directly, but edit it on your VS Code first. So let's say I've been working on these codes. And then I'm gonna save it on my desktop first. And then when I'm sure that I've edited a lot, and then I'm gonna go to GitHub and then do another pull request or create a new branch to updates number 2. And then go to index.html, edit this in order to have the paragraph tag as well. And commit these changes and all that. And then we're gonna eventually merge. But yeah, don't do this every single line of code. Just do it like every significant change. So let's say you've been working for 3 hours. So after that 3 hours, it's good to update on your GitHub, but not every second that you're working on this, right? So let's say like today, I've already uploaded all my files, so I don't have to do anything. And tomorrow morning, I'm gonna work on the project more. And let's say I worked on it for 2 hours, and then I'm gonna save the changes on my computer first, and I'm gonna upload it to GitHub when I'm done working. Does that all make sense? Okay, so yeah, this is just how you use GitHub. And again, on our final project, I'm gonna have you guys make your own repo, organize the file, basically put an image folder is what I mean, and make at least one pull request merge. Basically means update your file at least once. And then you should be able to see if you go to pull request that you've already done this. Okay, does anyone have questions about anything that we just did?